Hi, my name is Anais Payo, talking about Mitotane for 21 hydroxylase deficiency and fertile man. Definition: 21 hydroxylase deficiency leads to a decrease in the synthesis of the hormone below the blood gut, glucocorticoid and mineral corticoid, and increase in pre-blood products such as 17-hydroxycholesterol, and an increase in synthesis of the unified metabolic pathway, that of androgens, and in some cases to aldosterone, sometimes leading to severe hyponatremia and hyperkalemia.
Twenty-one hydroxylase deficiency is portrayed in this scene by the hydras playing blackjack, or 21. This enzyme catalyzes the hydroxylation of 17-hydroxyprogesterone to 11-deoxycortisol in the glucocorticoid pathway. Deficiency of this enzyme causes a decrease in cortisol, shown by the quart judge with the sun, on the downward sloping side of the table, and buildup of 17-hydroxyprogesterone, represented by the hydra gesture on the 17 stilts on the elevated side of the table. This enzyme also catalyzes the hydroxylation of progesterone to 11-deoxycorticosterone in the mineralocorticoid pathway. Deficiency of this enzyme causes a loss of aldosterone, illustrated with the aldo and his sterol stereo, who is also sitting on the downward sloping side of the table. Because aldosterone stimulates the conservation of sodium and increased water retention, loss of aldosterone causes severe hypotension, the hippo with blood pressure cuff. Volume depletion causes a compensatory increase in renin, hence the wrenches being juggled by the jester. Loss of aldosterone also causes hyperkalemia, shown by the hiker hiking on the pile of bananas. Buildup of 17-hydroxyprogesterone causes this substrate to be diverted to the synthesis of androgens, leading to masculinization. This can present as pseudohermaphroditism in females, represented by the masculine female on the queen card. To sum it up, 21 hydroxylase deficiency leads to decreased cortisol, increased 17-hydroxyprogesterone, and decreased aldosterone, which can then cause severe hypotension. We also see increased renin, hyperkalemia, and pseudohermaphroditism in females.
Everything we learned today and more is available inside of the Picmonic learning system. So what are you waiting for? Go to picmonic.com today and try it for free and find out why over 100,000 students are learning smarter, learning faster, and remembering it longer with fun pictures using Picmonic.
Application in medicine. Mitotane is a type of chemotherapy used to treat cancer of the adrenal glands. It works by slowing or stopping the growth of adrenal cortical cells. It also decreases the production of corticosteroid hormones produced in the adrenal gland. These hormones help regulate important bodily functions. Patients will need corticosteroid replacement therapy with fluorocortisone and hydrocortisone.
Hello and welcome to the Comlex Instant Review. Today's podcast is going to be focusing on 21 hydroxylase deficiency. This is the most common form, where you have decreased cortisol because of an increased ACTH. Patients also have decreased mineralocorticoids, increased sex hormones, and the symptoms include signs of masculization, female pseudohermaphrodism, and hypotension. That's a key sign, hypotension. 17-alpha hydroxylase deficiency has hypertension, and so does 11-beta hydroxylase deficiency. So having hypotension with signs of a congenital bilateral adrenal hyperplasia should point you to the diagnosis of 21-hydroxylase deficiency. Also in 21-hydroxylase deficiency, patients have hyperkalemia and an increased plasma renin activity and volume depletion. Also, salt wasting can lead to hypovolemic shock in the newborn. Now, how do you differentiate this from 17-alpha hydroxylase deficiency? Well, we mentioned in 17-alpha hydroxylase deficiency, patients will have hypertension. Also, keep in mind that there's decreased sex hormones, decreased cortisol, and increased mineralocorticoids. However, patients have hypokalemia in 17-alpha hydroxylase deficiency. And the decrease in DHT leads to pseudohermaphrodism, which is basically external phenotypic female, but no internal reproductive structures due to Müllerian inhibiting factor. Patients are typically XX and understand that this is one of the other congenital adrenal hyperplasias. With 11-beta hydroxylase deficiency, patients have, again, decreased cortisol. They have decreased aldosterone and cortisterone. There's increased sex hormone. And again, symptoms are masculization, hypertension, and this is the final type of the hydroxylase deficiencies you'd want to focus on for the board exam. Good luck in your preparation for the boards.
Pros and cons. Pros. Symptomatic treatment of advanced carcinoma of the adrenal cortex. Used on 21 hydroxylase deficit and azoospermia. Cons. Possible side effects: nausea, vomiting, change in mood or behavior, hypotension, change in electrolytes, gynecologic confusion, and rash. These symptoms are generally related to higher levels of drugs in the blood. Therapy will be continued until symptoms improve, and a lower dose will be continued.
So let's talk about congenital adrenal hyperplasias. So there are three we're going to discuss here: 17-alpha, 21, and 11-beta. So in the congenital adrenal hyperplasias, if you want to know which symptoms each of the hyperplasias is associated with, let's get a pen out over here, either with increased or decreased blood pressure or sex hormones. So you go like this. You draw it out, right? You draw it out like this. And in the first column, we have blood pressure. In the second column, we have sex hormones. We have V, and then we have S. So when you draw it out, go like this. So what you do is, for each one, make an arrow on top of it, like that. And then once you do that, oops, sorry, that wasn't such a good arrow. So now we see that in 17-alpha, blood pressure will be increased. In 21, sex hormones are increased. And in 11-beta over here, both blood pressure and sex hormones will be increased. So I just wanted to add, that's the mnemonic. I just wanted to add one thing, because if you notice that 21 doesn't really have a letter, right? And I feel bad, because 17 gets this little alpha fishy looking thing, and 11-beta gets this like B. He doesn't get anything. So maybe he got really down about it. So you know what we'll do? We'll give him CPR. Maybe I'll make him, because maybe he passed out, we want to give him CPR, so let's give him CPR. Why are we doing that? That's to remind us of three other important things associated with 21 hydroxylase deficiency. So in 21, C is going to be for the most common, P is going to be for increased potassium. In the other two conditions, potassium is decreased, increased potassium. And in R is going to be for increased renin. It's the only one of the three that has increase in renin. Okay, so let's draw this out a little bit neater. There we go. So yeah, in set 21, hydroxylase deficiency, it's the most common. Potassium is increased and renin is increased. Right, so this is in the first aid in the endocrine section. So we have 17 alpha hydroxylase deficiency. So what do we say about 17 alpha? We said that 17, the blood pressure is going to be up. So we see that blood pressure up and sex hormones are down. And we said in 21, the sex hormones will be up. The sex hormones are up. And then we said in 11 beta, both blood pressure and sex hormones are up. Sex hormones and blood pressure are up. And finally, we gave 21 hydroxylase CPR. We give it CPR because we felt bad it didn't have another letter associated with it, as did 17 alpha and 11 beta. What was CPR? That was for most common. Potassium is up, and renin is up, as opposed to the other two. Thank you so much for watching.
UC applied in Ecuador. UC applied in Ecuador pharmacological therapy for Cushing's syndrome uses an inhibitor steroidogenesis, mostly used in adrenal carcinoma. And conclusion. In testing for 21 hydroxylase deficit in accounts for more than 95% of cases of congenital adrenal hyperplasia, and in some cases even causing hypothermia and hyperkalemia. Thank you.